Hello and welcome to AMHQ Early. It is Friday, November 4th, 2016. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno. We'll get you out the door this morning with everything you need to start your day. We'll get you going on this Friday with more record smacks to what a warm summer we have had. Now, we're not talking 90s for you in Nashville or in New Orleans, but we are looking at the warmth again continuing. Mid-80s today and then 82, 80, 81. We stay up there in the 80s until next week when we drop into the upper 70s. Our average high is 75 degrees. So we'll get you a little closer to average then. But until then, we are well above average. Today is a day where records can be set right along the Gulf Coast. The big ridge of high pressure, look for where that axis in the ridge is centered. That's where we're going to have the biggest departures from average. You'll see that right up into the upper Midwest for today and into the weekend. Say the Great Lakes area will be well above average. These brighter colors show us where temperatures are going to be 15, 20, 25 plus degrees above average. And that's what you see today and continuing into the weekend. Now, today's record highs. Atlanta, we're very close, actually. The record high, I think, is what, 80 or 81. It's 80 in the Atlanta area. So not that hard to beat, right, considering the temperatures that we've had lately. We're going to be up there again today, but a better shot of breaking records by a couple of degrees right along the Gulf Coast. So Tallahassee, our record high is 86. We're going 88 for the forecast, breaking a record there. New Orleans going 86 degrees. That will break the old record of 85 degrees. Atlanta, yes, your record high is 80 for today. The forecast is 78, so coming very close. You may not get there. We'll see. There is a front actually coming through the southeast. You're not going to notice it. Maybe you got a rain alert. I did actually last night. I looked at the radar and there's nothing. The front is coming in dry, but it will bring in maybe at least a drop or two in temperatures as we take a look at Nashville, only 73 for today. Now, tomorrow, temperatures across the southeast. Again, we lose a couple more degrees in Atlanta, 73 degrees, getting closer to average, still above average, but just getting closer to it. And by Sunday, we'll see a lot of temperatures staying above average, but not as hot as we were last week. And the sun angle, is changing, right? There's a lot of things working against us to get those temperatures back into the 80s. Nashville, for us, we're going to see temperatures in the low to mid 70s for the next couple of days right through the weekend. Then Monday jumping up to 77. You forget that we should be in the upper 60s this time of year. Again, this front, it is coming through, but it's coming through dry. There's hardly anything on the radar out there. And so don't expect any rain out of it. Not going to help us out. Atlanta running a deficit of more than 9 inches. Huntsville, Alabama needing more than 10 inches in rainfall. Birmingham, we're below close to 9. In Chattanooga, you guys, at the heart of that drought, we are nearly 18 inches below average when it comes to rainfall. Certainly, you guys have been the poster child for this drought in the southeast here. The desert southeast is what we sort of nicknamed it because it has been so very dry this whole summer. And you can see this whole area now expanding, continuing to drop up or go up in drought categories as we look at that latest drought monitor across the southeast. So the drought's expanding. It's getting deeper. It's getting harder to come out of it since we are running such a high deficit. Red flag warnings are up in Georgia. Fire weather watch is up in Alabama. Now, burn bans are up as well. These are the counties under burn bans. You can see in red here, outdoor burning prohibited. You're not yet being issued by the Georgia Forestry, burn permits, I should say, are not being issued by the Georgia Forestry Commission. So take that advice, guys. I know as you clean up your leaves, you might be thinking about wanting to burn them. Do not do that in these counties that have burn bans. And really the whole area, I wouldn't recommend it for today. Now, we'll go coast to coast with your weather headlines. And in North Carolina, the federal government approved, I think I upgraded my phone. I got to look and see what's new. All right, let's take a look out there. What's happening in the Midwest. Chicago, what a great day you've got ahead of you. Temperatures look good. Going to be in the 50s for the Cubs parade that starts at noon Central Time. Tiny bit of a wind, a breeze out there. So that could create a slight wind chill. But with all those people, right, I mean, maybe that counteracts it. We got a good looking day ahead. Lots of sunshine. Bring a jacket and enjoy your parade that is 108 years in the making. Look at this forecast for today. So we've got temperatures starting off in the low 50s, warming up to the mid to upper 50s. We're going to keep it nice and sunny, nice and dry. Again, just a light breeze out there will knock a couple of degrees off this temperature. So you will need jackets for sure in the Chicago area. Throughout the Midwest, it's all about the above average temperatures. Chicago, part of your story is that you're going to have this wind coming in over the lake, and so that'll create a slight breeze, especially if you are by the lakeshore for today. Otherwise, across the area, look at all these southerly winds right across the upper Midwest. Temperatures above average. Minneapolis going to 66. Des Moines, we're going into the 70s. Cincinnati, a very nice day ahead in the low 60s. And St. Louis, we are going to be in the mid to upper 60s. These are all the spots in the big red bubbles here that are going to be well above average for tomorrow. We've got a warm weekend coming up here across the upper Midwest, and we'll have more on that straight ahead on AMHQ. Plus sunny skies, weather. So yes, this front is through. Temperatures have dropped off. You'll notice it pretty much everywhere. Boston, we're into the 40s right now. We got 30s and our typical cold cold spot Saranac Lake. No one's really seeing any frost, though. Have to say, behind this front, you always worry about a big cool down. That's not the case today. We'll keep an eye on things for tomorrow. Looking at today's high temperatures, going to 60 in Philadelphia, 58 in New York City. We should make it into the low 60s in D.C. Again, cooler than it's been, but really not that far from average. Temperatures for today in New York City hit the upper 50s, and then we hit 60 tomorrow with lots of sunshine. We stay in the mid 50s by Sundays. Another reinforcing batch of cold air comes in with another front. All right, so we've had some dangerous fog conditions in Missouri this morning. Be careful as you head off to work. And in Arizona, it wasn't fog, but dust, blinding drivers as storms arrive Thursday. Time to talk weekend forecast. This week, I know, was a busy one. A lot of folks might need to catch up on sleep after Halloween being on a Monday. The good news is you will. This weekend, we fall back with our return to standard time. So that happens Saturday night. But looking at your Friday forecast, we got a lot of dry weather from coast to coast. The places to watch: Arizona, New Mexico, South Texas, and there might be a few showers in South Florida. We do, by the way, that's moving off the coast. And to start your day anyway, you got a little bit of rain there in eastern North Carolina, maybe South Carolina. But overall, the front coming through the southeast, really dry. And once it does, you can see we've got more dry weather to replace it. Now, by the weekend, we do have another area of high pressure and a front kind of sliding into the northeast. You won't really notice it other than the fact that you sort of get another batch of some cooler air coming on in. But don't forget, Saturday night before you go to bed, move back your clocks. Move back your clocks. We fall back. We return to standard time. And so Sunday morning, you're going to be waking up here to a little more daylight, a little earlier, right? An hour earlier anyway. And we've got temperatures that are going to hit in the mid 50s across New York. Chicago, a very warm weekend. We hit the upper 60s. Good looking weekend all across the Midwest. Atlanta area getting back into the mid 70s. Saturday might be a little bit cooler than Sunday, but either way, we're staying above average there. And the place to watch for rain is going to be across Texas and perhaps Oklahoma. Now, in the southeast, the drought is worsening and it is fueling wildfires.